again, sizing up Murphy. Drives, floats, hangs, and scores on the turnaround. J-Dub way behind the three-point line and hits way behind the three-point line. Got blocked. What a rejection by Holmgren. Standing tall like a wall.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested podcast, coming to you live Friday, February 7th, after the Thunder have just defeated the Toronto Raptors at home in Oklahoma City, 121-109. Pretty important game that we'll talk about here in just a second. Before we dive into it, though, wanted to let you guys know that we are part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. Shout out to Blue Wire. Also sponsored by our friends over at Prairie Artisan Ales. So thank you to Prairie as well. We will have a Prairie King of the Prairie player of the game later tonight. Also, in the top left corner of your screen, you see a QR code to join our Patreon. You can also go to patreon.com/theuncontested for just a few dollars a month. You get access to our Discord, which has really been awesome. It's a great place. I bet there's 600 plus messages per game in the Discord of people just talking about what they're seeing in the Thunder game. So that's really cool. You also get bonus podcasts from us, and we do virtual watch parties. Our next of which is Saturday night against the Memphis Grizzlies. So that's really cool. You hop on and everybody gets in the Discord together, and we all watch the game in Discord, and then have like a voice chat and a text chat as we watch the game. So that's really cool as well. So if that's something you're interested in, I would encourage you to join. No pressure either way, but just wanted to let you guys know. With that being said, we're probably going to make this a little bit of a shorter podcast because it's a solo podcast and I don't want to be here long. The Thunder defeat the Toronto Raptors 121-109 in a game that was kind of close for like a majority of the game. The Thunder beat the Raptors by 10 in the first quarter. Second quarter, the Thunder only won the quarter by 1. Third quarter, the Thunder only won the quarter by 3. And in the fourth quarter, the Thunder actually lose it by 2. So it ends up only being a 12-point win. At one point in the fourth quarter, I think it goes up to 20. And the Thunder just kind of took their foot off the gas. It was an interesting kind of slow-ish, methodical-ish type of game. Where you felt like with the guys that Toronto had out, the Thunder could have just came out and taken them out in the first half and not had to worry about it. But they didn't. And a big part of that is because integrating back into the lineup, one Chet Holmgren. Hold on, I'm going to take a drink of this shake real quick. There we go. No Jakob Poeltl tonight for Toronto. No RJ Barrett. They recently traded for Brandon Ingram, who was not available tonight. So nobody really, none of their big guys played. They started Jonathan Mogbo, Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, Ochai Agbaji, and Grady Dick. Ochai Agbaji, 2 of 10 from the field for -25 in the plus-minus tonight. Not great. But the story of the night for the Oklahoma City Thunder is the return of star 7-foot big man Chet Holmgren. Really cool to see Chet get back out on the floor. He got a huge ovation in the starting lineup as the first name called, and came in, ended up playing 22 minutes tonight. That's a little less than I thought he was going to play. Post-game, Mark Daigneault, I think, used the term on the on-ramp to the highway. And this is part of more of his ramp-up, is now getting actual minutes. I think he will play in Memphis. I don't think they're going to sit him on a back-to-back, but I would bet in Memphis he plays about 22 to 25 minutes. They're just slowly going to build this thing up. He's got 5 games, including the Toronto game, 5 games until the All-Star break. Gets about a week off, and then I bet they really come out and push the gas pedal a little bit with him and see where they can go. J-Dub and Kaysen Wallace were out. Sorry, not J-Dub. I'm sorry. Lou Dort and Kaysen Wallace were both out for the Thunder tonight. So we didn't get to see the actual starting lineup. Instead, you got Shea, Wiggs, Dub, Chet, and Ihart. That was the starting lineup. Then off the bench, you saw big minutes from Jay Will, Kenrich Williams, Alex Caruso, and Isaiah Joe. I'll talk about those bench guys here in a moment and maybe what the rotation looks like when everybody's healthy. But let's start with Chet. That's the big story of the night. His final stat line from the night was 4 points on 2 of 5 shooting, 5 rebounds, an assist, 2 steals, and the loudest part of the game were the 4 blocks. Were very, very loud. You just kind of forget the impact he makes defensively until he's out there making the impact defensively, and then you're like, oh my goodness, he's pretty good on defense. To me, it was very clear that he wasn't really part of the offensive game plan. I think Chet is very much he doesn't want to come in and make it the Chet show. He wants to come in and really fit seamlessly with the team. I think it was Michael Martin post-game in Chet's interview said something about, last year you said whenever you came back, like the team's average margin of defeat was 7 whenever you missed that season. So you just needed to come back and make the team 8 points better. He was like, kind of, what's your thought this year when the team's so good? And Chet said, just come in and fit. Just come in and fit. And so he really didn't force it offensively tonight. I think he's going to take it very easily offensively. And very just like Mark said, it's the on-ramp. And he's going to take his time with the on-ramp and slowly build himself up to speed. So, but I don't know, a lot of thoughts. Like the 2 big lineup I thought was awesome. Chet playing the 4 meant he ended up guarding Ochai Agbaji, actually, who's more of a 2-3. And I thought he was just fine doing that. He moved really well in the perimeter defensively. And the other thing defensively is like he came back in and played some minutes as the solo big as well. But not only the rim protection, I was texting my friend Caleb tonight, not only the rim protection, the rim deterrence is such a big thing with Chet. There was a play, I believe it was the first quarter, I think, where Chet was guarding on the perimeter and whoever he was guarding drove the lane from like the baseline and Chet slid with him. And the guy got into the paint but couldn't get a shot up because Chet was there. So they kicked out. The next guy drove. Chet slid with him, closed the paint off, and then they had to kick out again. And so it was like there were 2 or 3 paint touches where they could have tried to shoot a layup, and they didn't get a chance to just because Chet was like right there. It's like he's just lurking in the paint, and if you try to get in there and shoot, he's going to block it. And he had 4 blocks tonight, but he probably had 7 or 8 plays where somebody got to the lane and like tried to shoot and missed horribly because of the Chet contest or because of where he was on the floor. It's his presence on the court that really just it changes the way teams play offense against this team. It really does. Incredibly impressive stuff by Chet Holmgren. Another play I wanted to mention. Hold on, I'm going to take another drink of this. Thank you. Another play that I just thought was a glimpse of like, this is what these guys can do. Like this is what you're building towards is fourth quarter. I'm pretty sure it was the fourth quarter that Chet was on the left side of the basket at the 3-point line, kind of between the baseline and the wing, and gets a screen from Hartenstein. Comes off the screen. Hartenstein It's kind of like a side pick and roll. Hartenstein rolls to the basket. Chet hits him with a pass. So we got a 7 foot, 2-man game going on here with a pick and roll. Hartenstein slips to the basket. Chet hits him with an overhead pass that the 2 7-footers can do. Hartenstein catches, turns. The next guy is rotating over, and he's got a little dump off pass to Alex Caruso right at the rim for a layup. And for as clunky as some of the offense did look tonight, that play was just like, that's the idea. Not only do you have these 2 defensive anchor 7-footers, but they can both pass the ball so well that when they do, it's just opening everything else up for everyone else. And it was a beautiful, beautiful play. And I imagine Mark Daignault on the sideline was just Birdman rubs hands .gif because he looked he looked happy at the way that offense was humming there for a while. We could talk a ton about Chet, but great build up in his first game back. Getting him on the highway, stack blocks, stack, like not blocks like basketball blocks, like stack building blocks. So good for Chet. A few other things that I can talk about real quick on this game, because again, this is going to be like a 20-25 minute pod tonight. But a handful of other things that really stuck out to me. Let's talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for a second. Not only is Shai just a freaking superstar, his stat line tonight, I wanted to read this to you guys as well. In 29 minutes, he scored 25 points, 1 of 6 from 3. Shai was 5 of 12 from the field, which means he was 5 of 6 from 2 and 1 of 6 from 3. 4 of 6 from 2, 1 of 6 from 3, but 14 of 14 from the free throw line. 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal. He was a plus 15. Teams are starting to blitz Shai a lot more. So whenever Shai gets a screen from somebody and he comes off that screen, the other team isn't worried about getting back to the guy that set the screen. They're sending both guys at Shai because they want to get the ball out of his hands. And Shai has been so good at when that blitz comes and that double team comes. He is really good at getting the ball past those two and to the open man that their defender left to double him. And a lot of times right now, that's Isaiah Hartenstein. And what happens if you execute that properly and Shai gets a high enough ball screen, comes off it, they blitz him, Hart slips it, Shai gets the ball over the top or between the 2 defenders. Hartenstein is catching a little bit above the free throw line. And the Thunder are now playing a 4-on-3 because Shai and 2 defenders are behind the ball now. So it's a 4-on-3 in front of you going to the basket. And Hartenstein is just such a great passer that the Thunder just abuse that. It's always either ending up like with a cut and a layup or a kick out to 3. Shai's playmaking, specifically out of the double team, I think has just been phenomenally good. The best one tonight was the Shai Hartenstein pick and roll where Shai's kind of on the wing coming back up to the top of the floor. Scotty Barnes and whoever else blitz Shai as he's coming around the corner. Hartenstein slips and Shai has that lob to Hart for the alley-oop. There was another one where the blitz came and Shai had like this lefty off the dribble, like scoop pass underneath to J. Will for a layup. They're not all ending up in assists, but what it's doing is it's putting his team at a massive advantage playing 4-on-3. And I've just been really impressed with obviously the 50 balls and the scoring outbursts and just cooking everybody alive. If he gets to the 2 dribble midi, you're done. If you ISO him on that baseline post up, you're done. He's going to absolutely destroy you with those plays. And so you have to blitz him. And then when you blitz him, he's making the right read every time. He's just playing offensive basketball at an insane level. Some of those shots feel very Kobe-ish to me, for sure. So that was my Shea thoughts for the night. I wanted to talk about a couple of other guys. Jalen Williams, 33 minutes tonight. He had 27 points. He was 9 of 19 from the field, which is not bad at all. 8 of 10 from the free throw line. I love seeing J-Dub get to the line. Got a lot of and ones tonight, which was great. So he had 27, 5, and 4, which I just think is a really good stat line for J-Dub. Love seeing him get to 27 points. Since we're talking about J-Dub, let's throw the thing on the screen if I can find it. King of the Prairie. Bang. Jalen J-Dub Williams, leading scorer for the Thunder tonight, gets the King of the Prairie designation. Again, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Shout out to our friends at Prairie Artisan Ales for sponsoring the show. We greatly appreciate them, and we would love if you guys would go try some Prairie beers, visit the tap room, watch a game. They're great folks. They're very local, very OKC. They love the city. They love the community. So go support them and check them out. J-Dub just played with an aggressiveness tonight that I really liked. And I don't think that is coincidental with J-Dub having Chet on the floor. I think Chet just brings an extra level of attention. J-Dub has had some awesome games, and he's had some struggles. I think the struggles are maybe a little overemphasized. I think J-Dub's been really, really good. I'm taking another drink of this shake. Hold on. So I thought J-Dub had a wonderful night, and I loved some of the moves to the basket. I mentioned the and ones, but just being aggressive, being physical, and getting downhill. I really liked. I'm seeing a lot of comments in the chat, guys. Really appreciate that. I'll try to hit some of them at the end of the show, but it's impossible to keep up with the chat while podcasting by yourself. So, I'll talk about a couple more things. 3 more things. One of them is going to be real short. The next one would be the combo. I don't know if this is fair, but I always kind of group these guys together, just because of kind of their role on the team, their contracts, etc. Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe. Wiggins started tonight, 33 minutes, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. He was 7 of 14 from the field. Isaiah Joe came off the bench, played 25 minutes, had 16 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and was 6 of 7 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3. That's a big thing with the Thunder tonight. They were 29% from 3. Just hot and cold, but Isaiah Joe has been scorching hot. A really awesome play tonight was Isaiah Joe getting a dribble handoff from Isaiah Hartenstein to go and shoot a 3, and he had already hit 3 of them. And so Toronto blitzed him really hard off that dribble handoff because they didn't want him to shoot the 3. And Joe just hit the Isaiah Hartenstein pass. Isaiah did the dribble handoff and then rolled to the basket, got a huge dunk. Just playing smart basketball, playing the right way. But those 2 guys, I think, have been really, really good, especially recently, obviously, with Wiggins with the 40 ball the other night. But I tend to group those 2 together. And I went to the game with my dad tonight, and I was telling him, like, Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe very much feel like guys that they're not going to lose you a playoff game. It's not like Wiggins is going to play 25 minutes and be so bad that he's the reason you lost a playoff game, or Isaiah Joe is going to play 20 minutes and play so bad he's the reason you lost a playoff game. But both of them feel like they can be a guy that gets hot and wins you a playoff game. And that's a big thing. That's a really big thing. to have guys like that on your bench. Like, it wouldn't surprise me at all if there's a game in the second round where Joe comes in and goes 5 of 6 from 3, and that's the reason they win, like, game 3 on the road or something like that. I could totally see that happening. Wiggins, I think, is just so poised to do something like that because he can do a little bit of everything. If you need a shooter, Wiggins can fill that role. If you need an extra guy to attack the basket, Wiggins can do that. If you need an extra wing defender, Wiggins can do that. He's really a jack of all trades kind of guy. So grouping those two guys together, when you put them together and you look at their stat line, that's oh goodness, what is that? 34 points tonight between the two of them on 13 of 21 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Like, that's a heck of a stat line from the two of those guys combined. Next thing, I got to talk about my boy. Alex Caruso tonight played 20 minutes, had 12 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block. 5 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. Fill the stat line, AC. He's everywhere, man. He comes in and things just happen when he's on the court. He's stealing the ball. He's diving on the floor. He's setting screens. He's blocking shots. He does everything. The 3 ball was dropping tonight. He had some moves to the basket. I got to tell you, though, my favorite play from Alex tonight, and I think this is just so much of a microcosm of the type of player he is he's playing point of attack defense. He gets a steal. He's got a run out. Isaiah Joe is like slightly ahead of him. There's 2 defenders running them down. So he pushes the ball ahead on a bounce pass to Isaiah. He cuts in front of the defender and then just slows down. So the defender can't catch up to try to contest the shot. Joe gets the massive dunk in transition. Queso could have taken that ball. No, it's not Queso. Caruso could have taken that ball and tried to get to the basket on his own. He could have tried to lay it up. He could have hoped that Isaiah flared out to the corner for a 3, but he feeds Isaiah Joe, and then he basically cuts off the defender, sets a block so Isaiah can get the uncontested dunk. Just he makes so many smart basketball plays. His basketball intelligence is very, very high. He does all the little things that just make the team work. Some people in the chat are saying like he's the glue guy. Offensively, he definitely is a glue guy. Defensively, he's a member of Al Qaeda. I mean, he's a terrorist out there. He's bonkers. He is insane defensively. So that's really fun as well. I think now, guys, the last thing I'll leave you with is just some bigger picture thoughts on rotation. It's an interesting rotation tonight as Jay Will got 17 minutes, even while Chet and Hartenstein played a lot. Kenrich got 17 minutes, even though Jay Will and Chet and Hartenstein played a lot. I'm really interested to see what this team looks like and what the rotations look like when everybody is healthy, because I think when they're all healthy, you're going to see a Shea, Dort, Dub, Chet, Hartenstein starting 5. And then I think your next 5 off the bench look something like Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, and Kenrich Williams, Jalen Williams, something along those lines. I thought it was fascinating tonight that the first sub was to sub both of the bigs off and bring Jalen Williams on. I'll be interested to see how that develops over time. I feel like there's a better chance of like Chet subbing off at like the 6-minute mark of the first quarter. Hartenstein playing until like the 3-minute mark, and then Chet coming back in, and them staggering those two. I think there's a much better chance of that happening as Chet ramps up more. I think it's going to be very similar to what you see with Shea and J-Dub, honestly. I think bringing off Dort gets you Case and Wallace in the game. I think bringing off Dub gets you Aaron Wiggins into the game. I think bringing off Shea gets you Alex Caruso into the game. The rotations are going to be really, really, really sick. And just like Shea and Dub kind of match each other's minutes and like they stagger, I think ultimately that's where we're headed with Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein as well. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see the ramp up as we get closer to the All-Star break. Super fun game to see Chet Holmgren finally back in the lineup. So glad he is healthy and back. It was fun to watch him play, man. It was really fun. So thank you guys for tuning into the show. Really appreciate you hopping on. I know this is my first post game and my first solo show in a while. So there's a lot of nice things said in the comments that I really appreciate. I did say I would go through some comments. So let's do that real quick. Grant said PlayStation Network is down, but the Thunder are indeed up. Sorry about your PlayStation, man. What else do we have? Donnie Hazelwood says J-Dub at the 3 might be the biggest story of the game. I think that's really interesting, Donnie, and I like that. Dylan said J-Dub actually looked better from a ball handling standpoint tonight. I don't know if that's just due to the team we played or he's taken a step in that department. I like that observation, Dylan. Thanks for sharing. Caleb said Shea was saving some for tomorrow's game. I like that. What else we got? A lot of people. So I'm going to try to hit all of these at once. Connor said Chet got a tech tonight. We got our dog back. People are saying a mysterious drink. It's just a chocolate protein shake, my guy. There was another comment about Chet's Thunder MGD said loved Chet's technical. Connor said Chet got fouled on a jumper and about blocked the ball through the blackboard and clapped at the ref. I felt that like that was the tech was kind of a turning point. That it kind of felt like Chet woke up. He kind of got an edge, and I really like that. Some people with just saying they're enjoying the Niffen solo show, so I appreciate that. Jacob Niffin's hair says Caruso a dog as always. Thunder Chick with and we don't even have Case and Wallace yet, which is fun. Grant says he thinks Chet gets more burn tomorrow. That would be nice. Love Thy Neighbor says the fully formed starting 5 gives me chills. Yep. That's about all the comments I think I'm going to hit. But thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. Like I said, it's I haven't done a post game in quite a while. I don't know. You still might not see a ton of me, but it's nice to get on every now and then and break down a game, especially when it's the one that Chet's back for. It was a fun game. It was a fun game for sure. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. If you haven't, like, sub to the show, sub to the YouTube channel, follow the social medias. Justin is doing a great job with the Instagram account. I know the other guys are kind of chipping in on the Twitter account as well. So you can find all of our content there. The Patreon has been really fun. I know a lot of people have really enjoyed that. So if you're into that, I would encourage you to join that as well. But thank you all so much for the support. Hope you guys enjoyed the game and a quick little post-game podcast. We will be not podcasting. Nobody's podcasting Saturday night after the Memphis game. And I'm not quite sure what our plan is Sunday for the Super Bowl. So maybe we will podcast Saturday and not podcast Sunday. I don't know what the guys want to do. It's kind of up to them. So we will see. But thank you guys so much. Again, Thunder win 121-109 against the Toronto Raptors and Chet Holmgren's return. We will, if you're Patreon supporters, we will see you tomorrow night for the Thunder versus Memphis game in Discord. If you're just a regular casual listener of the pod, thank you so much. And we will either see you guys Saturday or Sunday for our weekly show. So we'll talk to you then. And as always, Thunder up.